Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2023 Kia Sportage all-wheel drive hybrid in the EX trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 235/60 Goodyear tires wrapped around 18-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Vesta Blue, and it's like an aqua type blue. One could even see green in this color, but the sun is low in the horizon, so hopefully you get an idea of what it looks like. It is a really nice color. That's the first thing I've noticed when I saw this vehicle, was how nice the color looks. So the front grille is basically, it has like this stack design where there's gloss black down in here, and it has a lot of design elements here. So you can see it kind of fades there on the sides, and it has those strong pieces there in the center part. It does have active grille shutters as well. Then there's this silver, metallic silver type piece right in here. The new Kia name badge. It kind of reminds me of Killer Instinct game. Then you have some more of that silver down here, and then matte black here at the bottom. Now there's very strong daytime running lights that are kind of right in here, and they look really nice during the day and at night as well. It has a very distinct look to the vehicle. You can check out my night video. I have a full night video on this vehicle. So it has a multi-reflector LED headlight system with 2 low beam reflectors and 1 high beam reflector, and they combine together for the headlight system. Looking at the profile, it has that black plastic that we saw there in the grille extend around each wheel well, as well as here at the base of the vehicle, with the intention of protecting the vehicle from road debris. There's also that metallic strip right in here, a silver strip there. Body colored handles, upper portion of the side mirrors as well. And then the pillars are a matte black here and here. If there were a gloss black, it'd kind of solidify the glass a little bit, because they're trying to solidify it, because you have that chrome trim there at the bottom extending up, kind of, you know, keeping this part separate, and then all together, the glass portion. And then the upper portion right in here, there's nothing. It's just black. This is what the key looks like, and it's a full proximity key. It's very interesting. It has a button there on the side for the remote start. Has the Kia name badge there. There's a physical key on the inside. There's nothing on that side. Most of the buttons are here on the edge. So there's the lock button, unlock, the ability to open up the power liftgate, panic button, and then a little button right there to release the physical key inside the fob. The weight is not too bad. It's relatively light and contoured nicely, so it's easy to keep in your pocket. But as long as you have this key with you, you can lock and unlock the doors by pressing this button. So, and it alternates. There's lock. There's lock. So vehicle's locked now. Unlock. You press it again. There is a physical key location behind this cover. You'll have to pop this off, and then you'll be able to access a physical key there if need be. The doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, and there's actually a seal down here as well, with the intention of keeping road debris from dirtying this threshold area and potentially getting your clothes dirty when you get in and out of the vehicle. So that's pretty cool. So the inside of the vehicle, it has like a tan color and then a navy blue. So really nice looking combination here. And of course, there's going to be some black and other things as well. So you have this metallic handle. There's black. This is a soft touch surface, like an injection molded type material. This is like a vinyl type material here and here, very soft. And the hard touch surfaces are here at the bottom. There's gloss black around there. So you will need to have a cloth to wipe all the gloss black, because there's quite a bit. This is enclosed, so you can utilize that as a pocket. And then you have the standard pocket there at the bottom with a bottle holder. There's a speaker there as well. regular threshold, no fancy sill plate or anything. Manually adjusted seat here on the passenger side. Now these are Syntex seats, so it's a synthetic leather material. They're heated. There's perforations there in the center, smooth portions on the outside. Then it has a black portion, and just below that, right where it meets up with this hard plastic, is a soft fabric there. So that way it protects the seat a little bit better. And these are very comfortable seats. Hadn't had any problem with them. And the seats are fairly high off the floor, so you kind of get that chair effect, which makes them more comfortable. Same thing with the back seats, not too bad. There's lots of floor space here, just wide open space. This is a hard touch surface. Glove compartment opens up and a smooth plastic on the inside. You have more of that. This black of this right here extends here as well, all the way across the front of the dash. And then you have more of that metallic that's similar to the handle here. So it kind of blends that in. Gloss black, of course. And then a soft, non-reflective dash up here. And I don't know if you noticed this, but I like the way they have the touch screen and the gauges. They're both screens. They're basically the same size screen, but they have them connected together. Nice swooping gloss black look right here. Very nice. And this right here with the climate control is also just goes completely dark as well. So the actual vehicle, when it's turned off, is really nice looking. Because when all that lights up, it kind of looks segmented. But when it's like this, it looks all kind of solidified. It looks really nice. Plenty of room here in the front to get in and out. As far as your headroom, you're not bumping your head. You're not, like climbing up in or falling in and out. It's a perfect height. The seat off the ground, easy to get in and out of. Same thing here with the back. Now the back door could swing slightly a little bit wider, but it's not really. I mean, that's super nitpicky because it's fine. Plenty of headroom and everything to get in and out. The only tight space is between here and there, and it's not really a big issue. And once again, the door goes all the way to the bottom. There's the inside of the back door. Now the back door has a hard touch surfaces here instead of soft. This is a vinyl type material here, which is soft. There's a handle. This is soft. The rest of the door is hard touch. You have the pocket there at the bottom as well. So similar styling, just a little bit different as far as materials. So this back seat, since it's the hybrid, the actual battery is underneath the seat. So the way the seats operate is slightly different. You probably wouldn't even notice, but it's slightly different than the standard, but it's basically the same type of look and everything. So these back seats, they have the perforations and everything. They're not heated or cooled or anything like that, but they do have the same look as the front. The black here on the sides has a manual to lower the seats, and then a manual lever there. And then there's the car seat attachments. And you can see that one seat's reclined, the other one's not. So this is the extent of the reclining seat. That's the extent of the forward part. So both these seats, a 60-40 split, so you can fold down or have them recline either way. There's an armrest with cup holders here. It's nice and soft. You can lift this up in case you need a center passenger or if you just want it out of your way. Now the back of the seats are pretty cool. Not only do they have pockets on the back of both front seats, there's a hard touch plastic there and then a soft pocket there. But it also has a bag holder on both sides, which is really handy. And also a USB port here. So right there is a USB port for charging, and there on both seats. So that way the people in the back seat are not fighting over a single charge port. And then there's climate controls back here, a little storage cubby, and a little bit of a raised floor there in the center. But overall, the seat off the floor height is perfect. Perfect for me anyway, as far as getting in and out of the vehicle, but also, comfort level. Look at the back of the vehicle. It has these gloss black roof rails here, and a gloss black shark fin antenna there in the center. Third brake light is here in the rear spoiler. There's also a wiper under there as well, hidden. So the wiper is hidden under here, so it gets it out of your way. And also, like snow or ice or anything like that, typically doesn't cause a problem with that because it's swiping down instead of up. So, and it gives it a nice sleek design, and it's a little bit safer going through car washes. Now the tail lights are a combination of LED and standard bulbs, and I show these in the night video. Looking really nice. You can check out my night video, of course, to see the lighting. So it has a backup camera. It's in the very center position right here, which is great. Could be a little bit better integrated, like right in this area here. A little bit higher position, but as it is, it's a little tacked on. But the fact that it's in the very center is better than most vehicles anyway. So there's parking sensors across the back. So there's a lot of design features here in the bumper. So it has this metallic portion, and then it has these little cheese grater looking things here. Parking sensors are integrated here. There's reflectors. The reverse light is here as well. The exhaust is hidden, of course. So opening up the power liftgate, you can of course use the key, or you can push a button under here. There's also the ability to just stand there and it'll sense the key and open up the hatch. The only problem is if you walk past the vehicle regularly in the back, then it just automatically opens it up almost all the time. So I had to turn that feature off. If you have all the seats occupied with passengers, this is your cargo space, which is really good. A lot of space back here. Now, you do have the ability to lower the seats with these levers. There's one there for the right seat. There's one there for the left seat. You can also put a shade back here. There's no shade in this vehicle, but you can put one and extend it back here in that little hook. There's one light for the cargo space, and you can check out my night video and let me know what you think, if that's adequate enough. And then there's a 12-volt power supply here. There's tie downs here, here, and all four corners basically, here and here. So yeah, lots of room back here. Now this lifts up, and then there's a spare tire and tools under here as well. And you can wedge some stuff around it if you want to. And there's little cubbies there on the sides as well, so you can put some stuff. So this is a 60-40 split seat system. You can fold down one seat or the other to add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space. Or you can fold them both down and have a really wide open area back here. Lowering the power liftgate, you just push this button. Fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it's a locking fuel door, and it locks with the vehicle. So as the vehicle is locked, it'll lock. When you unlock the vehicle, it unlocks the fuel door. And it has a traditional cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door. Starting it up, as long as you have the key inside the vehicle, you just hold the brake and press this button to start it up. Now the engine may or may not turn on depending on the status of the battery. Typically it'll just basically say ready to drive. So you don't have to wait for the engine to start or anything. You can go ahead and put it in gear and drive as of right now. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now you notice the floor mat hooks in place in two places here on the driver's side. There's your accelerator, brake pedal, footrest there on the left side. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch right here in the center basically. Just a little bit to the right of center actually, just right in this area. Reach in, move it to the left, and lift up. Kind of heavy hood. A little bit heavier than I thought it would be. It feels like a full steel hood. It does require a prop to hold it up, and there's a prop there, and it swings up, and you just put it right where that arrow's pointing. There's insulation on the underside of the hood. There's also a seal across the back and the sides and the front there on the hood as well, just kind of sealing up the engine compartment It helps with the air and also airflow as well as noise in general. Now there's a fully insulated firewall back here. There's also some heat shielding as well, kind of back in there a little bit, because it does have the turbocharged engine, and so it is a 1.6 turbocharged hybrid system. So it's utilizing different technologies to give you the fuel economy as well as power. Now it's a 6-speed automatic transmission. It also has an all-wheel drive system with a lockable center differential. So the center differential connects the front and rear axles basically. So if you can do a little bit of, mild off-roading, I would say, with that type of system, just in case you need that additional traction of the all-wheel drive system. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So there's the indicator for the blind spot detection system. It's a little triangle there in the rearview mirror, so that'll illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot, or if you're backing out of a parking space, it lets you know if there's a vehicle coming either way. So the power windows are here. So the front ones are one touch up and down. Go up and down quite fast. The back windows, you do have to hold them, and they do go all the way down. Some vehicles will stop a little bit before all the way down anyway. So there's door lock controls, there's side mirror controls are there. Now, instead of a manual seat, the driver has a power seat. So you can go up, down, tilt the back, and then a two-way lumbar adjustment. And these are heated seats here in the front. To the left of the steering column, there's a few buttons here. Now there's the dimmer switch for the interior gauges. It does have like an automatic setting. Basically, you can change the brightness, but it's basically going to be an automatic, and it seems to be almost always perfect for my eyes. So it does give you the ability to adjust a little bit there. There's the open up the power lift gate. This is to reset the 12-volt battery. So like if you recharge it or replace it, something like that. And then right here is for the traction control. Default is on, but you can turn it off. If you're doing off-roading and you need to get some tire slippage, or if you, for whatever reason, need to spin tires, you can turn this feature off. Electronic parking brake is here. You pull it to engage it, hold the brake and push it in to disengage it, and engages the rear wheels. Has a tilt and a telescoping steering column. It's kind of stiff, and then it locks in place here. Driver's seat, and I'm 6 feet tall. I have the driver's seat all the way down, all the way back, to give you an idea of what the potential legroom here is. So this is a little bit too far back for me to drive safely. My legs are pretty much straight out at this point, and so I would have to pull it up a little bit. So if you're a little bit over 6 feet tall, shouldn't have any problems with legroom, or just any room really. This is a hard plastic right here, so that might become an issue for some people, but it hadn't been an issue for me at all. So basically lots of room here in the front, no doubt. So the steering wheel, it is a leather wrapped steering wheel, unlike the Syntec seats. It is actually leather wrapped, and it's a navy blue, looking really nice. And it has these just a really good feel to the steering wheel, good thickness, has a little tiny bit of cushion to it. So I think they did a good job, and the leather feels really nicely finished. It has a really good smooth surface, but grippy at the same time. It's not slippery at all. So here on the left side, the buttons, this is the volume for the radio. You can change to the tracks or the radio stations depending on what you're at, what you're doing, and then you can change your audio source using that mode button. You have this customizable star, which you can customize in the settings to what that does. You have a lot of different options there. The phone button, you can answer or hang up using the phone button once you pair your phone with the system, of course. And then the voice recognition button is here. There is paddle shifters back here as well, so you can change to the 6 gear ratios. Here on the right side, this is for the cruise control, and it has more of a standard cruise control. It doesn't have the adaptive cruise control. So you turn it on. You basically, when you turn it on, it sets it. You can also use these to set it as well, the up and down, and then pause and resume. And So that right there is the cruise control, and then right here is the lane keep assist. And basically, it's fairly non-intrusive. There's a couple times where it tends to kind of like fight against you a little bit, but it's usually okay as far as keeping you in the lane, if it recognizes the lines, of course. And there'll be like a little green steering wheel showing you that when it does. This little pages button right here, and this up and down and okay, this corresponds with the screen. We'll get to that in just a minute. Windshield wiper controls are here for the front and rear, and it has an automatic rain sensing system for the front. Turn signal indicators here. It also has the headlight dimmer switch as well as the headlight controls. So there's the off, automatic, parking, and headlights controls here. It also has automatic high beams, which I'll show you in the night video. You can check it out. Okay, so this screen is fantastic. They did a great job of not only the just visually it looks good. So this is currently have this set at the dynamic choice, and basically what a dynamic is basically the background is just like a picture of your environment, and it kind of replicates the time of day. So you have like a nighttime look, a sunset look, or a sunrise look. This is kind of like the middle of the day type look, and it's really nice touch to have a very high resolution, high detailed, good contrast ratio. The colors are really nice. Picture kind of has a backdrop of your gauges. I mean, that's just, for a vehicle in this price range, it's just really cool. It looks really good. It's very impressive. When people get in the vehicle, they see that, and they're like, wow, this is really nice. And that's just the gauges, not to mention the actual touchscreen over there, which is nice in its own sense. So it has I'm going to go through the different views here in a minute, but it basically has the same information. It just kind of rearranges it and gives you a different view when you change it. But it's fuel economy, or the fuel gauges here, and then the distance to empty, digital speedometer. Right now it's showing the average miles per gallon. This is just because I'm just sitting here. That's why it's showing so low, but I'm actually getting around 38, so 37, 38 average. Which I thought was excellent. And it has like a real-time bar down here as you're driving as well. There's the odometer, what drive mode you're in. Right now it's in eco. It actually has a little battery indicator here as well, which is pretty interesting for just a regular hybrid. It's able to see the street signs and let you know what the speed limit is and stuff right there. All right, so you notice it has these little icons here at the top and some information there in the center. Using this pages button and these up and down and okay, we're going to kind of cycle through. So right now I'm just going to cycle through the pages button, and you'll see it cycles through these icons here at the top, and it shows, just to let you know that this is part of a full menu system. All right, so this first one, it shows a car with lines, so it shows you the status of the lane keep assist system here. Now if this had the adaptive cruise control, then it'll show information about that as well. Now it can use the system to keep you within the lines. It uses that system to kind of keep an eye on cars in front of you. So if you're sitting at a stoplight and then the car in front of you takes off, it'll let you know that the car in front of you just left. So it's keeping an eye on things in front of the vehicle. So that's pretty cool. You scroll down, it has this like attention thing, driver attention alarm, and I turned it off because it was just constantly going off all the time. So I'm not sure what the deal is there. But I just turned it off. All right, so the next page here is the vehicle information. So it has a digital speedometer, and it has the fuel economy. So there's a trip, and it gives you a timer, an average, and all that. And there's another trip. You can reset those independently. Accumulated information, which kind of serves as another trip. There's the status of the drivetrain system. So right now we're just running off the battery. The engine's not running, we're not driving, so we're not using the motor or anything like that. So it's just showing the battery, and that's what's powering everything right now, the climate control and everything. And it goes back to the digital speedometer. Next page over is just a digital compass. The next one will be more information about the vehicle. So this is the all-wheel drive system. Kind of like these little bars showing you how much energy, how much power is going to each wheel. And it's pretty neat because as you bear down on the accelerator, it's going to use a little bit more of the rear wheels, but typically it's front wheel drive. And then it'll kick in the rear wheels when it needs that extra traction. And just even on dry pavement, it'll still do it when you really accelerate and stuff. This will show your tire pressure and engine temperature. And it goes back to the original one there. Hit the pages button again, it goes back to the original first page here at the top. Now, as I change the drive mode, you'll notice that the RPMs pop up here. So in Eco, it shows the average fuel economy, which will keep going lower and lower since we're not going anywhere. Sport and Smart and Snow all have the RPMs there. Now you can link the display change here, like the layout of this cluster, to the drive mode if you want, but I didn't choose that. I like the dynamic mode. But there's Classic A, looks like this. Classic B looks like this. Classic C looks like this. And then the dynamic is the one with the nice pictures. And you can go through those here in the settings. The touchscreen is really nice. It's very easy to use and there's a lot of functionality. So this is kind of like a home screen here, and it shows the status of the outside temperature, what channel you're in, and this little sun right there just kind of give you an idea of the weather. And then it shows there's different driver, you can set up different drivers, and it shows it's in driver 1 right now. Clock, and also the date, which is really nice. A lot of vehicles just kind of skip out on that information. It just gives you like a digital clock, and sometimes they put it in a weird spot, but this is really nice to have. But I don't know if you notice, in the background you actually see this map and this little arrow. This is actually the navigation kind of overlaid. It kind of like as you transition to the right of the screen, it shows the map of the navigation system. Now if we swipe this way, you can see there's different screens, sort of like your cell phone, where you can kind of swipe left and right, and there's different icons. It has like this neon look to it, which is really nice. So if you want to get information about the hybrid system, you can hit this first one, and right now the engine's running, charging the battery, which is pretty cool, and it shows you the average fuel economy, electric motor use, and all that stuff. So now we're back to the engine turned off, so now we're back to just battery power. You can see the map. There's the daytime view, and you can zoom in and out. It's very easy to use. Go into the menu, you can search for stuff. Navigation menu is right here. This is where you can save different addresses. You can also search different things here. Find Kia dealerships. That's pretty neat. Phone, once you pair your phone, you have access to all that, your recent calls, your phone book, and all that. So when somebody calls you, it'll pop up and show their information here. Like if somebody that you have saved in your phone book, you'll see that their name and all that stuff pop up. Phone projection. So this would be the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. So this would be a USB powered, so it's not wireless. A voice memo, that's pretty cool. So you can just quickly have something on your mind and you want to record it, you can record it quickly. It doesn't matter where you're at. You just hit that button and you can speak out a reminder or some kind of information, some kind of thing that you thought of and you don't want to forget. And that happens all the time. There's so many different things that, if you accumulate all your great ideas, then it's a lot better than forgetting them, which I tend to do. So the climate control is here. Now there's buttons below for the climate control as well, but it shows you what the status is, the temperatures and all that stuff, where the air is blowing, and then the automatic function has a low, medium, and high. Right now it's set to low. You can also focus on the driver if you want. You can sync the driver and passenger because it is a dual zone, and then you can have all these different options here. There's a valet mode, quiet mode. So this would be like if you have a kid in the back or something like that, you can hit that, and basically what it does, it puts the sound from the radio lower, but also only in the front. does have HD radio data, and then the regular radio's there, and then you have your setup. Now the regular radio has different views, but there's one of them there. Then you have their presets there at the bottom. And you set up the vehicle here. There's vehicle settings, there's general settings, display settings, screen layout, sound settings. You can go into everything and set it up. It's very easy to find stuff. Alright, so the next one over is media, and you could rearrange these icons if you want. The media, and here's different audio sources here: AM, FM, satellite radio, Bluetooth audio, USB music. It has a sound of nature where it plays like jungle music and, or, you know, like different sound of like a rainstorm and all that stuff. Just, it's kind of interesting if you're into that kind of thing. And then it has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto as well. Wired. It has a user manual, but this is basically just it gives you a link to a user manual for you to look on your phone. So that's kind of a quick rundown of what the screen's all about. It's really easy to use. It looks really nice. Fantastic, really. And now this one has more of a basic system, but there on the higher trims you have more like a 360 camera system and all that stuff, which is great. Alright, there's the four-way flashers. Now this right here is very nice. Okay, so on the EV6, it's the first time I experienced this, where you can change this back and forth like this. So you're using the same knobs and the same part right here, but you're changing the function. Now, I don't think that it did this in the EV6, where you switch to the radio, and then after a few seconds it goes back to the climate. I could be wrong. I don't think it did that. On this vehicle it does it, and I looked in the settings. I couldn't find any way to change it, because I'm usually messing with the radio, the volume and all that stuff, more than I am the climate. The climate, I just set the temperature and forget about it. So I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to have to interact with the climate all the time. I'm constantly having to switch to this so that way I can adjust the volume. So, you know, maybe there's something I'm missing, but it's constantly defaulting back to the climate control. But it is very easy to use. You can see it's color coded and it looks nice. You can see it at nighttime well. Alright, so this opens up. There's a USB-A, USB-C, 12-volt power supply, a wireless charger in here, compartment. It's rubberized on the bottom as well. Heated seats and heated steering wheel controls are here. If it had the cooled seats, they would appear, the buttons would appear here on the higher trim. There's the start button, which we saw, and here's the shifter. So there's the park button. To put it in drive, you just hold the brake and move it to the right, and it'll go to drive. Move it a little bit to the left, there's neutral, and all the way to the left is reverse. And when you put it in reverse, two things will happen. The backup camera will pop up, but also the parking sensors will be active. There's also like this noise, like this chime going on. Since this is a hybrid vehicle, it just kind of alerts people around you. It's not super loud, but you know, you can hear it alert people around you that you are potentially backing up. You have different views here, more like a top-down view, or this view, which is not, it's still pretty linear. I wish they had like a super wide view, which is not available here. It does have the blind spot detection system though. Alright, put it in park by pressing that button. So these cup holders are kind of neat, because when you push, there's kind of like this wide open space here, and here, kind of storage space. But if you need to put a cup in there, these buttons, push that and it pops out this little plastic thing, so that way you can hold a cup. And also this little arm pops out, which was not there before. This little articulating arm pops out. So these are pretty handy. They work pretty good. You can always push them back in, reset it like that. Same thing here. So this is where I was changing the drive mode. So you just turn this knob to change the drive mode. You press in to lock the center differential. So like say on an off-road situation and you need better off-road capability, you can utilize that center diff. Now there's a downhill descent button as well. So this will keep you at a safe speed going downhill, so you're not slipping too far. Auto hold will hold the brake for you when you come to a complete stop. This is helpful to like a traffic light, extended period of time sitting in traffic or something like that. It'll just hold the brake until you hit the accelerator. This button, when you press that on this vehicle, all it does is just pop up the backup camera. On higher trims, you'll have the 360 camera system, which this will be more useful. But it is useful to kind of sometimes see the what's behind you. Here's the armrest, and it's in that navy blue as well, and it's kind of rubbery soft, which is not bad. It lifts up, and it doesn't flop back down on you. It just kind of stays where it is, basically. And then there's a compartment here, and nothing special. It does have the like a felt lining at the bottom, but nothing really to report in there. There's no plug-ins, there's no lights or anything like that. Has a manual day and night mode for the rear view mirror. There's roadside assistance shortcuts here, Kia Connect. There's also interior lights, so you just press the light, it turns on. Press it, turns on. This is to turn on all the interior lights, and this is to turn on all the lights on when you open the door. You can turn that feature off if you want. This is for the sunroof. We'll get to that in just a minute. The visor has like a vinyl wrapping on it, and it matches the headliner, which is a cloth, but it looks basically the same. This is just a vinyl, which is easier to clean and all that. Has a big mirror, a little clip right there, and this little light, you have to manually turn it on. Now these do extend out as well. Basically the same thing on the passenger side. So looking at the sunroof, huge sunroof. Goes all the way back there, and let's go ahead and just open up the shade. And the shade blocks 100% of the light. Vent it by pushing up on the button. And close it. Oh, I pushed it too hard. Now it's closing the shade. But let me go ahead and move it back. Press it again. That's as far back as it goes. I like the way you can close the shade and the glass at the same time. That's pretty cool. Looking at the visibility there on the back, I haven't had any issues with the visibility. There's a decent sized pillar back there, but as far as just kind of looking over my shoulder and looking around, it's not bad at all. Those little windows in the pillars help out. But it does have the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert. It actually has the front traffic alert. Like, it actually lets you know if there's vehicles coming in front of you, which is pretty interesting. Now there's some parking sensors, the camera system as well. So, as far as like driving it, I hadn't had any issues whatsoever. No question as far as backing out of parking spaces, stuff like that. The only thing I would say is that the backup camera, if it was wider, if you had the option of having a wider view so you can see down both directions, I would prefer that, because that's what I'm used to, basically. That's why. But some people, that's a little bit disoriented because it's too wide, it looks weird. So the linear view is probably good for most people. And it has the active guidelines and all that stuff, so it's all good. When you don't have the climate control on, it's like super quiet. When you put it in reverse, you can hear that chime quite loud, but the vehicle's ready to drive right now. It's making like no noise without the climate control on. When the engine's not running, it's really quiet. You do get some engine noise when the engine's running, especially during acceleration. And you get some wind noise, and you get a little bit exterior noise. It's not really a big deal. Probably going to sound louder on the camera than what it really is, but it's not the super quiet vehicle. If you're looking for that, it's not that. But it's not overly obnoxious or loud. You know, like say the RAV4 is pretty loud, you know. That's one of the vehicles that kind of stood out that as being loud in this type of vehicle. But this is much quieter than that. I'm really liking this dynamic display here with the sunset right now. This time of day, it's giving me the sunset view, and just really pleasant screen to look at. And the size of the information, like the digital speedometer, is perfect. Some vehicles have this big screen, but they have little tiny digits or little tiny letters on the screen, and they're not taking advantage of all that extra space. So in this case, it's nice and legible, and it looks really nice. It's good size as well. So the lane keep assist, like I mentioned, this does not have adaptive cruise control, but it does have the lane keep assist system, and it'll give you a little green headlight, a little green steering wheel there, letting you know that it can see the lines. And let me go ahead and turn the cruise control on. So it does a pretty decent job, as long as the lines are clear, of not wandering too much. Kind of keeps you in the center lane, and so as you're driving, it's not going to fight with you. Because some of the systems that wander a lot, then you want to stay consistent, and it's constantly fighting you. But this one seems to be fine. Now, if there's like a turning lane or something like that, sometimes it'll kind of jerk the wheel and actually fight against you quite a bit. Sometimes it's a little jarring at first if it decides to just move the wheel. It's like when you don't want it to. It's kind of interesting experience. Not as bad as, like, say, the Toyota Supra or the BMWs that I've driven. They have like this weird, just like really, really jarring turning of the steering wheel. But this one just kind of like, most of the time is fine. I'll just say that. But overall, driving this vehicle has been very much a pleasure, because it's easy to get in and out. It has a relatively smooth ride, and you got good visibility, and nice, excellent technology in the vehicle. I mean, it's not like it's real high-end, expensive vehicle either, so that's the thing. In this price range, so the window sticker on this one, and it's fairly loaded up, and it's like $33,000, so that's not bad. That's affordable for a lot of people. So this is a good family type vehicle that you can get around in. People can get in and out of the back easy. It's not overly huge and cumbersome, and hard to find a parking spot for or anything like that. It doesn't feel like this huge vehicle. It feels like a decent sized vehicle, and it's fun to drive. It has decent acceleration. I think it looks good too. It looks modern, and especially the screens in here. Exterior looks modern, interior looks modern, and the materials feel nice, and the layout's really nice. Where the cup holders are in relationship to the armrest, and the shifter doesn't stick up. It's just a dial. It's easy to use. It's not overly complicated. Nothing's overly complicated. Everything is simple. So the simplicity of it, and also the coupled with the advanced portion. So, like, say you have these nice screens, but they're easy to use. They're not complex. They actually make it easy to use the vehicle instead of making it too complex, or impede what you want to do. some vehicles it's like overly complex with the technology, and it's not well implemented to where, you know, it's actually a downgrade instead of an upgrade. But this is actually an upgrade, you know. So yeah, I've really enjoyed driving this vehicle, and for the price range especially, it's just very impressive. And a lot of people ask me, you know, like what kind of vehicle should I get and stuff. And I think this, for a lot of people, they don't want to get like a 4-door sedan. They want something a little bit higher up off the ground, but they still want to have something that's good on gas. You know, halfway decent acceleration. You don't want a race car, but you don't want it too slow. That kind of thing. And I think this is for this price range. I think this is going to be a really good choice, at least for people to look at. Take one for a test drive and see if it's right for you. So yeah, it's definitely recommended to take it for a test drive and look at it and consider it. It's not a weird vehicle. It's not a weird in that it's not going to be functional for the average person. It's going to be very functional for most people. And unless you need like a third row or something, this is going to have lots of cargo space, lots of roomy passenger space. It's going to be relatively easy for the average person to understand how to use it, get in it. The controls are straightforward, and it's not, like I said, not overly complex. And it's a good hybrid system, so you can't even tell looking at the exterior of the vehicle that it's a hybrid, other than the little, you know, little hybrid HEV sticker on the back. Other than that, it doesn't look like this weird, you know, vehicle that's like some people say that the Prius just looks too much different than other cars, and so I understand that. So this one just looks like a regular Sportage, except for it's a hybrid. So it's, you know, it's not drastically different than other vehicles on the road. I put it in sport mode just to see what kind of acceleration we get, or what it sounds like, because the engine is a little loud, little loud and a little rattly sometimes. So see what it sounds like with basically with a lot of acceleration, basically. Not too bad. Engine wasn't as loud as I thought it was going to be. So in sport mode, 62 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and set it there. In sport mode, the RPMs are about 1800 RPMs. Let's go to Eco, which it does away with the RPMs. Let's go to Smart. Okay, so now the engine is turned off. So now we're on electric power right now. So yeah, highway speeds, really easy to drive. I think it would be a good highway vehicle. There you have it. Thank you for watching, and I'll have more information after this, but the window sticker and different stickers on the vehicle, plus additional shots so you can see what the vehicle looks like. So anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.